Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Okay, guys, I just shared with you an article from the Jerusalem Post talking about Jared Kushner negotiating terms with a land swap with Saudi Arabia. We have, I guess, at some point on the surface explored and discussed how the Greater Israeli Project extends into modern day Saudi Arabia. And it's interesting that that should be on the table for discussion now, I guess many scholars read those articles. I'm not sure whether they really are able to discern and understand in terms of the Jewish eschatology what the significance of all of that is and its relationship. We seem to be very blasé and cavalier about all of this. It doesn't seem to be stirring in individuals. खबर हर किसी को होती है, लेकिन I don't think whether that's really stirring in them the sort of concerns that it really should do. Simply because we've mentioned quite a few times now that Jared Kushner, Donald Trump, and Prince William, and maybe perhaps Prince Harry as well, are all going to serve as decoys for the Antichrist. Trump for the Christian faithful, Jared Kushner for the Jewish faithful specifically, and then the wild card is Prince William and Prince Harry. And again, they're going to induce this kind of en masse trauma on the Ummah during the 7 years of tribulation, which will be started with Ezekiel 38 and 39 manufactured, which is happening right now, by the way, with the exchanges of and the tirades that Erdogan is certainly perpetrating through this psyop staged in New Zealand. Again, that was nothing to do with white supremacists, but every scholar that I know have openly been basically passing the baton on, as it were, with the same musical notes, every one of them, notwithstanding one, to be honest, especially in the UK, which is really unfortunate indeed that they've not been able to really see through this farce for what it really is. And that's exactly what it was. It was done by Mossad under the stewardship of the Shayateen. When I say under the stewardship of the Shayateen, what I mean is we need to understand who set up Israel in the first place, and then who the fake Jews, as it were, are actually, and what their history is. And then you'll understand that the same hand pulling the strings globally is the same hand that's been that created this false psyop just to polarize society more. But if anything, through them. And I mean, this guy was really making an effort to let the world know he was a white supremacist. Yet the whole story is riddled with bullet holes. But for whatever reason, we still seem to be like peddling that same narrative for them, and they were expecting that, and we've done exactly just what they were expecting. But more specifically about this particular story, can we expect an anointing of the Messiah this Purim? Now, I don't know again. I guess, like I have, and for a long time since we've been sharing posts through the science distribution list, we have been drawing the attention of our ulama ikram towards comparative religious studies and eschatology, specifically being the taqaza, the flavor of the hour at the moment, and that we need to understand what they believe in and the kind of noises that are being made within their rabbinic circles, right? And right now, Jared Kushner is being touted as possibly their Messiah, right? And interesting enough, by the way, guys, the building that he owns in New York, the number happens to be 666. Well, actually, let's look it up. And that's the number of the beast which we discussed, and that sign that this so-called what's it called, white supremacist was showing whilst he appeared in court just recently. And again, there's an esoteric and an exoteric meaning. The exoteric is for the masses, the layman's, the profane, as they would call them, subhanallah, the goyim, the non-critical thinkers, and then you've got the initiated who really understand the occult doctrines and what is being said, and those individuals understand the 6662 represent what's represented in, there you go, 666 Fifth Avenue. Jared Kushner owns that building, right? And that number happens to be the number. I mean, honestly, 666. Okay, let me just show you something which is really interesting. And this is getting a bit hilarious for me because I'm just, the only way I can deal with it now, right? Otherwise, I can only get very frustrated and angry, and I want to, but I can't because I'm actually ulama ko mukhatib kar raha hu, so I don't have the luxury of being able to really just, you know, um, vent out my anger. I can't do that, can I? So I mean, I may as well just be cynical and maybe laugh about our conditions, status quo, and how we're being made fools out of. So Jared Kushner owns a 666 building, and Bible 666 verse. Okay, you've got it in this particular verse, number of the beast. Hold on, let's go back again. In the King James, right, version, the number of the beast, 666, right? So I mean, that was the symbol that that individual was making, but on a exoteric level, they've made it to represent white power, but it's not. Its roots go back all the way to Bible passages. Okay, so this is what we call the esoteric meaning behind it all. At any rate, what they've said is Purim. For those of you who understand the Jewish religious um, um, significance of this particular time, we're in Purim right now. So in the next day or two, I think there's going to be a major announcement. Let's just see and keep our eyes peeled about this individual, which is Jared Kushner, if we are right, that he is going to be touted as the Jewish Messiah, which, again, as far as I'm concerned, in the scholarly world, even those of you who are on the distribution list didn't see coming, yet you'll find that we archived it in the channel maybe about more than half a year ago, that he was going to be groomed as one, and that's exactly what seems to be happening. We'll just have to see. Let's just watch out for what happens in the next 24 to 48 hours, because there's mention here. Can we expect the anointing of the Messiah this Purim, which is today and tomorrow, right? So something significant, even if there's no anointing, but with Jared Kushner, I'm expecting in the next 48 hours. Wallahu alam. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows best. Jazakallahu khairan wa ahsanul jazaa for your time. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.